Welcome to the Ultimate Drag Racing Tournament. In this video, I have 16 cars ready to battle it out on a 1 kilometer drag strip to see which one is the fastest off the line and down the straight. This is going to be done tournament style, with each car going head to head in a bracket, the loser being eliminated and the winner moving on to the next round. At the end, we'll have one winning car from each side of the bracket, and they'll race to determine a winner. So before we get into it, here's a look at the bracket. Each matchup should be pretty well balanced, but there are a few clear number 1 seeds, like the Porsche 918, the Mercedes GT600, the RUF RT12, and a few more. That being said, let's get into the first race. This is the Porsche 911 GT3 RS with a no-hesi tune. This car has 790 brake horsepower and a 6-speed manual transmission, so it's definitely a force to be reckoned with. And this is the Ferrari 599XX Evo from 2012. This amazing piece of machinery is boasting 750 brake horsepower with elements of Formula 1 technology. Alright, so into the first matchup. The red lights are coming on. We're in the Porsche GT3. Redlining it right now, and off the line right about now. We're going to be slamming up to the gears with this 6-speed manual transmission. We should have a better launch compared to the Ferrari, and we definitely have a better launch compared to the Ferrari, but I do believe he's going to have more top speed, so we're going to have to see if he can catch up by the 1 kilometer mark. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it, but it's definitely very close. He's looking kind of in the slipstream. He's cheating a little bit, and luckily we beat him to the line. So the first winner we have is the Porsche 911 GT3 RS no-hesi tune. For our next matchup, we have the legendary Lamborghini Aventador SV with a huge V12 engine producing 750 brake horsepower, and its opponent is the M3 GT2, which is a little underpowered compared to the Aventador, but is almost 700 pounds lighter. Alright, at the start line, this time we're in the Lamborghini Aventador SV. The red lights are coming on, and this one is actually going to be a little bit interesting. I'm very curious to see who wins. But off the line we go, and hopefully we get a better launch than the M3. I believe we definitely do. Definitely a much better launch, just straight up power. Obviously, the M3 is a little bit lighter, so I figured maybe it had a fighting chance, but it doesn't look like it has enough power to beat the Aventador. Absolute blowout from the Lamborghini right there. That is a first place finish for the Lamborghini Aventador SV, and it's going to move on to the next round. Next, we have probably the number 1 seed competitor, the Porsche 918. This car produces a whopping 887 brake horsepower and is one of the most technologically advanced cars of our time. So who better to pit the 918 against than the McLaren P1, which shares many of the accolades of the 918, but has a touch more power at 903 brake horsepower. Alright, for this one we're at the wheel of the McLaren P1. The red lights are coming on, and we're going to have to find out how this goes. This one's going to be very interesting. Off the line, and I think the 918 is definitely going to get us a much better launch from the 918 right there, but hopefully we can get a little bit more top speed, and it looks like the 918 is just absolutely running away with this one. I couldn't really think of a better competitor for the 918, and he's absolutely smoked us. So that's the 918 moving on. The McLaren P1 is eliminated from the bracket. Next up is the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento, one of the most impressive cars in recent memory. This car is almost entirely made of carbon fiber, which is why it weighs less than 1,000 kilograms. The only thing weighing this car down is the Italian V10 engine in the back, which is similar to the Italian V12 in this Ferrari LaFerrari. The LaFerrari produces almost 1,000 horsepower and of course belongs in the holy trinity of hypercars. Alright, on the line in the Sesto Elemento, we should have a much better launch than the LaFerrari here, but we're going to have to see if the LaFerrari can catch up down the straight. It is a pretty long drag strip at 1 kilometer, so I think the Ferrari might get us at the very end here. Really good launch off the line, and the Ferrari is already closing in, already passing us, and I guess that's all she wrote for these two. Ferrari versus Lamborghini, and Ferrari is going to triumph on this one. The Lamborghini was definitely underpowered, but I figured maybe the weight would play a little bit more of a role than it did. But anyway, the LaFerrari moves up in the bracket, and that is the first round done. So now we're going to have the 918 versus the LaFerrari for the second round of the tournament. I'm going to be driving the 918 since I was in the P1 that lost to the 918 in the first round, so hopefully we beat the LaFerrari. I really don't think this is going to be a problem. If anything, the LaFerrari is going to be the biggest competitor for the rest of this side of the bracket. We're off the line, and already a really, really good launch. Definitely ahead of the Ferrari. I can't really tell. Yeah, he's definitely pretty far behind us. The all-wheel drive launch control of the 918 is pretty unbeatable, it seems, especially since it's so overpowered going down the straight too. There's no real chance for anyone to even catch up after we get off the line. So the 918 moves on to the next round of the tournament. Now we have the Porsche GT3 RS No Hesituned versus the Aventador SV. I'm in the Aventador, red lights are on, and we are launching off the line right about now. This one, I think, is going to be a little bit close. It seems pretty much dead even at the start here. The Porsche is kind of pulling away. Hopefully, we can just get some top speed out of this Lamborghini, but I think we're slightly underpowered compared to that Porsche, and he's just going to run away with this one. So it looks like the Porsche is going to win, and it's going to be Porsche v. Porsche for the semifinals of this side of the bracket, which is, honestly, it's pretty crazy. Alright, I have a feeling the 918 is going to win this one. It's a 918 versus a GT3, so clear difference right there. I'm surprised the GT3 made it this far, but this should not really be a problem with the 918. Launch control off the line, and we should already be miles ahead of the GT3. He's actually putting up a little bit better of a fight than I thought he would, but once the top speed is kicking in, we're just leaving him in the dust. So it looks like the 918 is a clear winner for the left side of the bracket here. And I don't really know what's going to compete with the 918 on the right side of the bracket for this tournament. So we're going to have to find out. But yeah, the 918 is the finalist on the left side of the bracket. And now we have the entire right side to get through. And there's a lot of very interesting cars here. So let's just get right into it. This is a No Hesi-tuned Dodge Viper with an 8.4-liter twin-turboed V10 engine producing almost 800 horsepower. This thing should be an absolute animal on the drag strip, but its opponent is a No Hesi-tuned Mercedes Brabus GT600. This tuned Mercedes boasts 680 horsepower, but is slightly lighter than the Viper, so this one should be interesting. Alright, we're in the Dodge Viper. This is a 6-speed manual transmission, so hopefully I can get the shifts down and not lose any time compared to my opponent here. But the red lights are on, and we are launching off the line right about now, slamming up to the gears, and the Mercedes already has a much better launch than the Viper. I'm actually a little bit surprised by that. I'm not sure if the Mercedes has all-wheel drive or not, but we should have a little bit of top speed compared to this Mercedes, so maybe at the very end we could be catching up. We're definitely catching up right now. I don't know if this is going to be really, really close to the line. And second place, just by a hair, the Mercedes wins. So he's the first round winner of the right side of the bracket. Next up, we have the Pagani Zonda R, one of the most extreme cars to come out of the 2000s. This Italian masterpiece has a 2.7 second 0 to 60 time and weighs just over 1,000 kilograms, including a Mercedes V12 at the back. Also with a V12 is the Ferrari 812 Superfast, which is a little bit heavier but also a little bit more powerful. The 812 Superfast is definitely going to be a tough opponent on the drag strip. Alright, at the start line in the Pagani Zonda R, I actually don't really know how this one's going to turn out. I feel like we have top speed over the Superfast, but I'm not really sure. 5 red lights are on, and we are off the line right about now. Hopefully we get a good launch. It feels a little bit slow, probably compared to the Ferrari. He breezes past us after the launch, and is already opening up quite a gap to the Pagani. Hopefully we can get some type of top speed to kick in, but it looks like this one might already be pretty much over. The Ferrari is just putting on a show right here. And that's second place for the Zonda, so the Pagani is eliminated and the Ferrari continues. This is the Nissan GT-R GT3, which has achieved multiple podium finishes in the British GT Championship. With a 6-speed sequential gearbox and 600 brake horsepower, this should be a decent competitor on the drag strip, but how will it compare to the Audi R8 LMS Ultra? The Audi is also a successful GT3 car with 570 brake horsepower. This one is going to be close. Alright, at the start line in the GT-R right now, I think we should have a better launch in the GT-R compared to the R8, but we're just going to have to find out. 5 red lights are on, and we are off the line right about now. Hopefully we can win with the GT-R. We're a little underpowered. The R8 definitely has a better launch. I was very clearly mistaken about the launch right there, and it looks like the R8 is just really pulling away with this one. No question whatsoever. So we've lost a couple in a row as the driver compared to the AI here, which is a little disappointing footage-wise, but the R8 continues, and the GT-R is eliminated. Now we have a Dodge Charger Hellcat with a No Hesi tune. This is a purpose-built car for straight-line speed, as under the hood we have a 6.2-liter V8, which produces 837 horsepower. This seems like a slam dunk for a win, however it's up against the RUF RT12, which has a 3.8-liter bi-turbo engine that produces 730 brake horsepower and also weighs almost 1,200 pounds less than the Charger. Alright, at the start line now for the final matchup of the first round. We're in the Charger, the red lights are coming on, and we are off the line. A little bit of a late reaction time as the lights went out right there, but hopefully that's not too much of a problem. We're neck and neck already with the RUF on the left, and this one is definitely going to be close, really neck and neck now. Hopefully we can get some top speed. We're pulling in front now, really, really close. It's going to be very close up to the finish line. A photo finish across the line right here, and it looks like the Charger is going to get the win. So the RUF is eliminated and the Charger continues on. So now we have the second round of matchups, which is going to be the GT600 versus the 812 Superfast. Alright, we're in the Ferrari for this one. 5 red lights are coming on. I really don't know who's going to win this one. I think the Ferrari might have it, but 5 red lights are off. We're launching down the drag strip, and hopefully we can get this one. The GT600 already is just destroying us off the line. Hopefully we can get some top speed over this guy and reach him by the end of the drag strip, but we really have a big gap to make up. I don't think this one's going to happen. We're slowly closing in to that first place, but unfortunately just not enough road, and that means the 812 Superfast is eliminated. Alright, next round we have the Charger No Hesitune versus the Audi R8 LMS. I don't think this one's going to be much of a contest at all. I think the Charger has this pretty much on lock. I think we've got around 250 or 300 more horsepower than the R8, and just a lot more power, just raw power, and I don't really think there's anything that this GT3 car can do compared to this Charger. It's really purpose-built for straight line speed. It's no problem whatsoever. Absolutely cooking this R8, and we're across the line. The Charger continues, the Audi is eliminated. So, this leaves us with the Dodge Charger versus the Mercedes GT600. Both of these cars are no hesi-tuned, and this one's going to be interesting, so we're going to have to find out. This Mercedes sounds absolutely crazy. It sounds absolutely crazy. 5 red lights are coming on. I really don't know who's going to win this one. Both no hesi-tuned, off the line right about now, shifting up to the gears already, and hopefully we can get this Charger. I feel like this one might be kind of close. The Mercedes has kind of surprised me so far with the launch speed, and just overall top speed might be a little bit slower than the Charger. He gets us on the kind of later part of the straight. Unfortunately, the launch was good, but just not enough top speed for the Charger. So the Charger is the winner of the right-hand side of the bracket. So we're pitting a Dodge Charger no hesi-tuned against a Porsche 918. So I think we all know who's going to win that one, but we'll do it just to see. Okay, we're in the 918. I think this one's going to be pretty quick work. I don't think the Charger is going to be able to hold a light to this 918 whatsoever. Hold a light? I don't even know if that's the expression. I'm not even concerned about this. Launch control is fantastic with the 918. We should be absolutely smoking it by now. And yeah, just really leaving him in the dust. So I think the left-hand side of the bracket was a little bit more powerful. Maybe I should have done a better job at weighing these two cars up against each other. But absolutely destroying the Dodge Charger. And that means our clear winner by a mile is the Porsche 918. I think the only other competitor we had really was maybe the P1. And yeah, that was a pretty good showing from the 918. Alright, well, since the 918 won so decisively, I'm going to pit it against a couple other cars just to see how long this thing can go until it loses. So right now we're racing a no hesi-tuned Lamborghini Huracan LP610. And yeah, just absolutely cooking this guy off the line too. So this 918 actually might be pretty hard to beat. I don't really know what else is going to be able to beat this thing besides maybe like a Formula 1 car. But alright, pretty decisive win here. Alright, now we have yet another no hesi-tuned car. This is a tuned 812 Superfast that has about 850 horsepower, so maybe this thing has a fighting chance in the 918. Really good launch yet again, and I think we're already leaving it in the dust again. The 918 is really a force to be reckoned with. This is pretty crazy. Alright, up against the P1 GTR now. We're on a 2-kilometer drag strip this time, so double the distance. And we're going to see how the 918 fares against the P1 GTR. So far, pretty consistent gap behind. It looks like we just got better launch and they're just kind of keeping, maintaining speed at least. He's kind of pulling ahead now. This is the 1,000 meter mark right here. So if this is a 1,000 meter race, we would have won it with the 918 right there. And I think, unfortunately, the P1 just has a little bit too much top speed for the 918. So I don't think I'm counting this as a loss because we hit the 1000. Alright, up against the Lotus 98T right now, famously driven by Ayrton Senna. That car has over 1,000 horsepower, well over 1,000 horsepower. And we're going to see if we can beat it with the 918. We should have a much better launch. We have all-wheel drive, a little bit better traction control than the Lotus, but he's just going to have so much top speed with that 1,000 horsepower. I think it's a V12 in there. And yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to catch it. Maybe we get in the slipstream, try to cheat a little bit up to the line, and we still don't have enough. Alright, that's going to do it for this one. If you guys made it this far, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this kind of type of video, let me know in the comments. It was a pretty fun one to make, so if you want to see more drag races, kind of tournament style, bracket style, let me know. I would love to do more. So, again, if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.